What is the Anthropocene? The Anthropocene is a term that was popularised by chemist Paul Crutzen in 2000 and is the idea that the world has entered a new geological epoch. This is due to the ever-increasing impacts that humans are inflicting upon the Earth and the fact that there is now geological evidence of our impacts on the Earth's surface. He argues that we have left the Holocene even though it only began 12,000 years ago as civilization began, and have moved into a new epoch as a result of the ability of humans to transform the planet. When did the Anthropocene start? There is much debate as to when the Anthropocene would have begun, with evidence of human impact as far back as the Neolithic times, when people transformed culturally from hunter-gatherers to farming and settlement. However, the general consensus is that humans started to have the most noticeable impact on the Earth around 1,800 years ago, with the onset of industrialization. The main cause of this was a sudden increase in the burning of fossil fuels and biomass, which has interfered with the world carbon cycle. We can see that the concentrations of carbon dioxide, CO2, and methane, CH4, in the atmosphere are much higher compared to analysis of trapped air in deep cores taken from polar ice, spanning the last 650,000 years. From a pre-industrial value of 270 to 275 parts per million, atmospheric CO2 has risen to about 310 parts per million by 1950, and then to 368 parts per million in 2000. That represents an increase of around 90 parts per million. Also, other gases such as CFCs and other halocarbons are used and released from refrigerators, insulating foams, aerosol spray cans, and industrial plants. These add to the greenhouse effect as they have a very strong forcing agent, and by also destroying parts of the ozone layer, allowing harmful UV ray to hit the Earth. What effect does this have? This increase in CO2 and a range of other gases, including water vapour, absorbs some of the infrared radiation that would have otherwise been radiated out into space, and therefore cause global heating, known as the greenhouse effect, as suggested by scientist John Tyndall. This has caused the Earth to warm by about 0.7 degrees centigrade over the past century, with a particular increase over the last decade. As a consequence, glaciers have been receding, snow cover has declined, polar ice has been melting, sea levels have risen, and spring has been earlier. How else have humans impacted the Earth? Humans have impacted the Earth in many other ways. Not only do we burn fossil fuels, but also we deforest the land, reducing biodiversity as we remove habitats, and also cause damage to the soil, leading to an increase in soil erosion and deterioration. Destroying habitats due to deforestation, urbanization, pollution, or over-harvesting, as well as global warming, is now causing the next mass extinction, with species becoming extinct 100 to 1,000 times faster than the normal background extinction rate. The past 5 mass extinction events were the Cretaceous extinction about 65 million years ago, the Triassic extinction 208 million years ago, the Permian extinction 245 million years ago, the Devonian extinction 365 million years ago, and the Ordovician extinction 438 million years ago. Fossil records of flora and fauna before and spanning those epochs are used to mark out geological time. Previous wipeouts took millions of years, but evidence suggests half of all the wildlife on Earth has been extinguished in the past 40 years. If one accepts that the Earth's climate is changing dramatically due to human activity, and that we are seeing permanent changes on a global scale, then the argument that we are moving or have moved into a new epoch is justified. The future of the Anthropocene. The term Anthropocene is yet to be fully defined and accepted into the scientific community. A team of 37 geologists, climate specialists, and ecologists from across the world have met to discuss the term and make a recommendation on whether it should be declared an official unit for the International Geological Timescale, and whether or not it should become the modern epoch or more lowly age, making it a subdivision of the Holocene. The group aims to have its proposal ready for the next International Geological Congress in 2016. However, with the effect that global warming is causing on the natural environment and other huge impacts that humans have inflicted on the Earth, my view is that we have entered a new epoch. As fossil fuels remain the main source of energy, and as the world's population continues to expand and become increasingly developed, then the impacts on climate will continue to happen and change the environment that we have today.